Hi everyone. So today let's discuss the topic DP on grids, right? So let's get into the definition part. DP in grids is a DP dynamic programming technique where each cell's answer depends on the previously solved neighboring cells, right? So whether it may be top, left, or diagonal, right? So we can just consider top, left, or diagonal, right? So it is used to count paths, find minimum or maximum cost paths, or check reachability in a 2D grid, right? So these are some of the applications, right? DP in grids. So again, let me read this one loud. Just listen to this carefully. DP in grids is a DP technique or dynamic programming technique, sorry, where each cell's answer depends on the previously solved neighboring cells. Where each cell, each cell's answer depends on the already solved neighboring cells. This one, neighboring cells, whether it may be top, left, or diagonal, right? So it is used to count paths. Some of the applications here are it is used to count paths, find minimum, maximum cost paths, or check reachability in a 2D grid. Let's move on with the algorithm explanation part here, right? So here, first thing, just give me a second here. Yeah. So what we'll do, we'll treat each grid as a DP state. First thing, we will be treating each grid as the DP state. That we'll be doing. Second one, um, we will define what DP of ij represents. So we'll be going with a 2D DP. As we are dealing with the grids actually, we'll be going with a 2D DP quite obviously. We'll treat each grid cell, each cell that is present on the grid, that we will be considering as the DP state. And then we will define what DP of ij represents. Yep. So then we'll build the solution row by row or column by column using the transition. Either we can do it row by row or column by column using the DP transitions, right? So then final answer lies in the destination cell, right? Bottom right cell, the last cell. Final answer lies in the destination cell or the bottom right cell. So we'll be going with this particular algorithm. So we have to count the number of, or we will be counting the number of unique paths from top left nothing but 0 0 to bottom right nothing but n minus 1 n minus 1. Yeah. So let's do that. Let's go with a 3 into 3 grid. Yep. 3 into 3 grid in the sense rows 3 columns 3, right? So we'll be counting the numbers of the unique counting number of unique paths from top left nothing but 0 to 0 to this one 2 comma 2, right? Nothing but we are going with 3 into 3 grid. So allowed moves are either right or down. Yep. So this is fine, I believe. Next, let's move on with the further things. Now, if you didn't get everything, this is fine. We'll implement or articulate the same thing, this algorithm explanation, whatever we have discussed, we'll implement the same thing in the form of code. Let's do that one. Yeah. See here, buffer reader and print writer is related to the input output part. We don't have to worry that much. Yeah. Let's move on with the further things. So I'll just consider n equals to 3 and m equals to 3. Rows 3, columns 3. 3 into 3 grid we are considering. Now, first we have to iterate over the rows and we have to iterate over columns. That's what we have to do. Let's go with the nested loops or two loops here. Sorry. 1 second, man. What happened here? Yeah. Yeah. I plus plus. For the this one column, I'll just go with j and variable we have considered m. So let me increment the j. So within the for loop, first thing we have to skip the start cell, right? So we will be skipping the start cell. So I'll just write if condition, simple if condition for that. If I equals 0 and j equals 0, then in that case for skipping Java provides continue keyword, right? So I'll make use of it. Next, so let's go with up and left variable, right? So um, we have 0 ways from top cell and we have 0 ways from left cell initially as we are initializing. So I'll just consider up equals 0 and left either top or left accordingly with the algo. See here. Where it went, man. Different what represent. So this one actually we are counting the units from top left to bottom right. So not this one. Just give me a second here. Yeah, see here, cell's answer depends on the previously solved neighboring cells, nothing but top, left, or diagonal, right? So we are considering up and left. So let me go with here, left equals 0. So this is fine. Next, we have to go with a valid top move, or we have to make the valid top move, and we have to this one uh, make the valid left move. These two things we have to do. For that, let's write the simple two if conditions here. If I is greater than 0, suppose I is greater than 0, up equals dp of I minus 1 into j. Next, the same thing. Why we haven't considered dp here? Why this is showing? Oh, we haven't considered dp at all. Okay, just give me a second here. So we considered this one here. After this, I completely forgot to mention the this one. We haven't considered the base case as well as the dp variable or the dp array. So let me go with the dp array here. Sorry, I completely forgot, I believe. New into, as we are going with a grid actually. So we'll be going with a 2D grid, right? So let me assign n into n. So this is fine. And the base case is nothing but there is one way to standard start, nothing but dp of 0, 0 will be assigning this one to 1. It's as simple as that. Now, so let's move on with the further things. Yep. So now the error is gone. Now we are making the valid top move. We have already written the code for that. And also we have to make the valid left move. For that, I'll just write one more if condition here. If j is greater than 0, then let me go with left equals dp of I into j minus 1. Yep. So this is fine. Next, so we have to go with the total base, or we have to display the total base to reach the current cell. For that, let's go with dp of ij represents that one, right? Dp of ij represents the total base to reach the current cell. So this will be up plus left accordingly with the algo. Yep, up plus left accordingly with the algo. So this is it for the algorithm part one. We're left with only one thing. We have to display the output and we have to flash as we are making use of the print writer. Let's do those things. So I'll just go with out.println here. So this is fine. So this will be dp of n minus 1 into last row, n minus 1 into m minus 1. Yep. Bottom right cell actually, the last cell. Finally, we have to flush as we want to get the output suddenly, right? After running the code. So this is fine. Let me format the code so that this looks good. Code looks good. So this is fine. Let's check for the typos or the errors. Yeah. So this is fine, man. Let's do one thing. Now, before running the code, let's dry run the code by considering the same example that we have considered within the code, so that we get to know whatever the code that we have written is correct or not, and we also get to know the output for the example that we have considered within the code. These two things, and later we can come back here and run the code that we have written. First, let's dry run the code. So let's move on with the further things here. So first thing, yeah. So we have considered the same example for the dry run. The same example that we had considered in the code, within the code actually. The same example we'll be going with for the try run as well, right? So grid indices, we are going with a 3 into 3 grid actually. Yeah. So this is the index 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 0, 2, 1, as well as 2, 2. Now let's move on with the DP table filling, right? So now dp of 0, 0, initially we are starting with 1. As per the code, dp of 0, 0, we have assigned this one to 1. So dp of 0, 1, it's in the same row. So dp of 0, 1 and dp of 0, 2 remains 1 itself. Now dp of 1, 0 also remains 1 itself. See, now accordingly with the algo, so the current cell value will be based on the previously computed values, right? So dp of 1 1 will be 2 here in this case. 1 plus 1, it leads to 2, and dp of 1 2 will be 2 plus 1, that leads to 3. Yep, that leads to 3, right? So dp of 2 0, again it remains 1 itself. Again it remains 1 itself, and dp of 2 will be dp of 2 1 will be see, it will be 2 plus 1, nothing but 3. Yep. And dp of 2 2 will be, it will be 3 plus 3, right? dp of 2 will be 3 plus 3, nothing but it would lead to 6. So finally, we got 6 at the bottom right cell. Yep, we got 6 at the bottom right cell, or the last value is 6. So this last value will be displayed in the form of output, nothing but 6 here, right? So accordingly with the dry run, we got output as 6. So this one is nothing but DP of 2, 2, right? The last cell actually, bottom right cell. DP of 2, 2, the output that we got here is 6, right? So this is it for the dry run. So it's as simple as that. You can just pause the video and have a look into it. Yep. So this is DP table filling as we are going with the tabulation, right? So we went with the nested loops, right? Within the code. So we are going with the tabulation, iteration, or the bottom up approach, whatever you call, right? So this is fine. So this is nothing but the grid indices. Yeah. 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2 up to 2, 2, 2. Right. So this is it for the dry run. So we have discussed the algorithm. We have written the code. We have dry run the code accordingly with the example that we have considered within the this one code. So we are left with only two things. One is running the code that we have written, and if everything goes well and if we get the desired output, we have to discuss the complexities for the code that we have written. Yep. First, let's run the code that we have written. Let's do that. So we have come to the coding part. Now let's run the code that we have written. Yep. Let me do it. So see here, we are getting the output 6. So that's the output that we have got in the dry run part as well, right? So we are getting the desired output, right? So we are left with only one thing, nothing but discussing the complexities for the code that we have written. Let's do that. So what's the time complexity and the space complexity for the code that we have written? So the time complexity would lead to big of n into m. You would have already guessed actually. It would lead to big of n into m, right? So what would be the space complexity here? The space complexity would lead to big of n into m as well. So why the time complexity here is big of n into m? Because we are considering each grid cell that is computed exactly once here, right? So overall overall time complexity would quite obviously lead to big of n into m. Space complexity is also big of n into m because we are going with a tabulation, nothing but we are considering the DP table that stores the results for each cell. Yep. So in this case, the space complexity would lead to big of n into m as well, and nothing but rows into columns, right? So the time complexity and the space complexity for the code that we have written would lead to big of n into m and big of n into m respectively. Now we are done with DP on DP in grids, right? So next what we will be doing, um, we will be discussing on the topic DP in subsequences or DP on subsequences. How do you say it actually? It's in or on. Anyways, let's move on with the DP on subsequences. For now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.